Hey everyone, I'm back with my final review for the Nomatic backpack after 2 months of daily usage. I've given it a fair bit of run through with on my bike and just regular commuting to work. I've gotten about, I would say, at least 40 rides in. It's 2 a day, so it has been like 40 days total, but at least 40, probably more. I don't count how many times I ride my bike, but at least 40. So I got a pretty good idea how this is going to wear over time, and I feel pretty good about giving my final review on this. With this video, I also like to introduce a rating system, something I've been giving a little bit of thought to. It'll help me as well to kind of prioritize, or help me prioritize what in a bag I like and help me make a decision a little more easily. I'm going to try to introduce the rating system and then go back and retroactively add ratings to my previous bags that I've owned, so look out for that video as well. But my three categories are going to be organization, materials, and then build quality. I know materials and build quality almost go hand in hand, but you can have a really well built bag that just has shitty materials, and vice versa. Something that has really good materials but isn't built very well. So I almost wanted to put those together, but I think that it's worth separating those two. And I'm not going to give the looks a rating because that is super subjective and impossible to rate, because what might be a 10 for me is going to be like a 5 or 6 to you. So I'm not even going to bother rating the design. You either like it or you don't. This is what you get. So organization, I'm going to give this a 9. By the way, I'm never going to give out 10s or 0s because those are two extremes that I'm never... I mean, a 0 basically means I didn't buy it and I'm just making a review on it based on something I don't own. And then a 10 is going to be something that fundamentally changes my life, which has never happened of a product that I've ever bought. So this is a 9 for organization because of the things I touched on my last video. There is pockets everywhere in this bag. There is no wasted space. There's pockets here, a little zipper pocket here for your little doodads, mesh pockets, pen holders. There's 2 mesh pockets. There's one big mesh pocket, but they're separated into 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, there's overlap, so you can't pack both of these in here and expect it to not bulk out, but it's good for organization if you have little things that you just want to keep separate from everything. And then you have a dedicated little notebook pocket, which fits a notebook perfectly here. You heard me gush about this in my other video, so I'm not going to go through that. I just want to discuss my rating and then kind of just move on from there. So pockets everywhere. There is no waste space on this bag. Quick access pocket at the top. You hear those zippers. I'm going to talk about those. Pocket, a nice mesh pocket too, so it's got a good amount of stretchability there. And then pocket, and then this is the tech pocket, so there's more pockets here. And again, I already talked about this, so I'm going to be very, very brief. I suggest you check out my other video. I go into super in-depth about all the pockets and stuff, but I basically just want to stress the point that there is absolutely no wasted space. Everywhere there is a pocket. Like there's never not a place to put something in this bag. So that's why it gets the rating of a 9 for organization. Whether or not that actually works for you, that's kind of going to be up to you. But this is the first bag that I've owned where I actually had empty pockets, just because there's so many and I don't have that much stuff. Okay, so that's why this is a 9 for me. I'm going to talk about the materials next. So the materials are basically the physical makeup of the bag, the choice of materials, the choice of zippers. I'm going to give this a 4. I was going to give it a 5, but let me explain to you why. So 5 is going to be average here. So I'm going to give this a below average because of what they're selling versus what I received. So one of my first times taking this out in the rain, and it was a drizzle. It was still cold enough where I can wear a thick jacket that was water resistant. It's just like a regular North Face bomber jacket. So I put on my hoodie and I was okay for my body. Like my pants didn't even get wet. But when I got to work, I went to reach for my little pouch, which I keep my Jaybirds in, and I noticed that there was moisture buildup on this. I wiped my finger on it and I can feel my finger being wet. And I was like, what the heck's going on? I was 100% sure that I did not leave any pockets open, because I put this in here before I left, and I'm positive this was closed. And it's got the AquaGuard on there. So I was like, what the heck is going on? So then I started feeling around the bag. Like this actually absorbs water. So whatever they say it's water resistant, maybe it is to a certain extent, but it will absorb water. Like even if you trickle a little bit of water on this, it doesn't bead and it doesn't fall off like it's something like the Peak design does, like with the waxed canvas finish. It doesn't really bead. Like if you put it enough, like nothing will even roll off. It'll get absorbed on the bag. Now it won't necessarily make anything inside wet, but there is some absorption going on. And I imagine when enough of it gets wet, you're gonna start getting buildup of moisture inside the bag, and I think that's exactly what happened. So I emailed the company right away. I'm like, hey, I noticed just what I explained to you. And they're like, no, it shouldn't do that. So if it happens again, let us know and we'll send you a new bag. So to their credit, they were offering to replace the bag for me, which is good, you know, good for them. But what's a new bag gonna do? Like they're still using the same materials, same zippers, same everything. So it's gonna happen again. So moisture buildup, and then their choice of zippers, I don't like. They're very loud and whiny, and that's because the teeth are so small. They also get stuck quite a bit, especially up here. And I think that's a combination of the zippers and also because of the actual shape of the bag and the way that it's not very rigid. So there's a lot of bends and curves to this bag, and then you compound the really small teeth on the zippers, and you get a lot of opportunities for getting those zippers stuck. So I don't like the zippers. Yeah, they have the AquaGuard, which is great, but I wish the teeth were bigger. Okay, so yeah, organization 9, materials of 4. So let's talk about the build quality. I was gonna go with a 5 because it wasn't extraordinary and it wasn't terrible. It was just right in the middle. The reason I'm gonna give it a 4 is because it does not stand on its own. Like today, it's being really good. I did shift my stuff around in there a little bit because I moved my stuff over to a new bag, which hopefully if I have enough time, I'll do right after this one and I can talk about it with you. My first impressions anyway, because I've only had it for a few days. It doesn't hold up on its own. Right now there's a laptop that's weighing it down, but you can even see from the stance that it has right now that it wants to fall on its face. So let me take out the laptop, and without me doing anything else, there it goes. So it'll do that. It did that to me 100% of the time. When the first thing I want to do when I get to work is put my bag down, open the front zippers, and get my stuff out for the day. But you can't do that when it's falling on its face all the time. And this falls on its face all the time, and it's really, really annoying. You can live with it for the first couple of days, but day in and day out for over 2 months, I got fed up with this bag. I emailed them as soon as I got the bag because I noticed that its stance was way forward. So I emailed them a few times. This isn't just one email I'm talking about. And they said, yeah, that's all the bags are like that right now. We did notice a design flaw that's being fixed in production. And I'm like, okay, great. Can you let me know when those come in so I can send you this bag and you can send me those other ones? And they're like, actually, no, because we don't know when those are coming in. But everything we have in stock right now basically looks like this. So that raised a red flag for me right away. So I'm like, okay, 2 problems there. A, you recognize that there's a problem with your current design, your current batch. And 2, you're okay with that problem enough to sell it to people in the hopes that they will end up keeping the bag. So there is a definite quality control problem going on at Nomatic. On top of that, one of the commenters in my last video let me know that they actually changed the design of this compartment. It's no longer these 4 pockets. I'm having a hard time remembering exactly how he explained it to me, but this is different. So this is an odd thing for me to say to a mass-produced product, is to call them first to figure out what iteration of the bag they currently are selling. This is not something I've ever had to worry about or even took into consideration. The stuff that I buy, I know that it's going to be the same thing that I see on their website. But this is the first Kickstarter thing that I bought, so maybe this is a normal thing for Kickstarter and I'm just not aware of it, that they can iterate on a product and change some things without telling people until you find out and you're surprised, like, hey, this doesn't look the same. Buyer beware. This might not look the same when you buy it. That's it. So build quality. It doesn't stand up on its own, and in my opinion, that is a design flaw with the way the bag expands to give you more volume. Because the reason that it stands is so forward leaning is because of the zipper right here. It runs through the back of the bag, and this is what you open up to get the extra, I think it's 4 liters of space. So it's very rigid back here, but it's very soft in the front. So it creates this angle, which is the default stance for the bag. Do that all the time. So unfortunately, I can't review what they intended to sell. I can only review the product that I have in hand. So what I have in hand is a 4. And it just speaks poorly to Nomatic that they can recognize that they have a production problem, but continue to sell the bag anyways. That's not good. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence in the company. And then I thought they were lying initially when they said that the entire batch was like this, because shortly after that, they released their new campaign video for the messenger bag that they're selling. And they had this front and center in their video, and it was standing up beautifully. It was standing up like perfectly. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. They just lied to me. But then I looked a little more carefully, and I noticed that they have these little assistive, they might be like door stops or something, that are basically holding up the bag so that it can stand perfectly horizontal. Which isn't, I'm not going to say it's a false advertising, but it is very misleading that they have to give themselves an assist to make the bag look like the way they want it to. I mean, stand by your product. Like if it's supposed to stand upright, make it stand upright without assistance. Don't show it one way and then have people discover when they get it that it's gonna do this all the time. That's not okay. So again, buyer beware. Everything else, like I said, is average. This is held up fine. I've taken this, it's been pretty warm here for a few days. So I've sweat pretty horrendously on this bag already. There is a little bit of white buildup, probably from the sweat drying up. I think I can wipe that down if I put a little time on it, just with a wet rag, wipe it down, and I think it'll be okay. But I think so far it's been average. It hasn't been miraculous and it hasn't been awful. It's just very in the middle. So this has been fine. The side pockets have been fine where I put my U-lock. Actually, I put it on this side. I was actually tying up my bike light here and like having it stick out from the back. That actually worked out pretty good because there's no external straps here. So I guess just a tip for you if you're interested. If you have a bike light and it has like a little thing that wraps around the seat post, you can probably wrap it around this and have it show from here. So just a little tip. But yeah, this has been fine. This never bounced back the way that it does in their videos, where they open it and it just bounces back. But that's never been a problem. It's magnets, so that's fine. So this is held up fine. You can actually see here. You see that the way it's kind of bending this way. That's due because of its stance. So if I stand it up long enough, and I have to put it up against the wall, because it does this all the time. So when the bag is a little more packed, a little heavier, it actually starts to buckle right here. So you can see that it's getting wrinkled right there because of how forward it leans. So yeah, it needs some structure here to help it stay up and to stop it from buckling the way that it is right now. So build quality, like I said, build quality. Quality assurance is not their strong point. But yeah, I'm gonna try, I wanted to keep this video short and introduce the rating system. So organization 9, build quality and materials are both 4. And then buyer beware. I cannot confidently say to buy this bag because I don't know what iteration you're gonna get when you eventually do buy this. But yeah, I'll leave that up to you. Just know that some things might be different than what you see on the website. So call them, email them, figure out what it is they're selling before you buy it. But that's it. I'll stick around the comment section for a little bit if you want to ask a few more questions. I have my alerts on, so I'll try to get back to you same day. That's it. Thanks, and I'll see you guys around.